Meghan Markle controls everything. Curated videos, timed press releases, scripted appearances. But you can't control live events. October 23rd proved it. She grabbed a microphone from billionaire Courtney Adamo, invaded her space, and the cameras caught every uncomfortable second. This is Meghan completely unfiltered. What happened at a small bookstore in Santa Barbara has the PR world buzzing. Body language experts are dissecting every frame. Industry insiders are finally connecting the dots. And the woman at the center of it all? She's watching her carefully constructed image crumble in real time. Today, we're breaking down the moment Meghan's mask slipped, the billionaire friend who saw something she didn't like, and the pattern of chaos that's been hidden behind NDAs and strategic press releases for years. Let's dive in.
School one year.
We were meant to fly.
Yes, we were meant to fly.
October 23rd, Godmother's Bookstore in Santa Barbara. A small venue, intimate setting. Meghan Markle appears alongside Courtney Adamo for what should have been a simple book promotion event. The cameras are rolling. The audience is watching. And then it happens. Meghan reaches for the microphone. Not a gentle request, a grab. Her hand shoots out, invading Courtney's personal space. And Courtney's reaction? Immediate, visceral. She recoils. Her body language screams discomfort as she physically pulls away from Meghan's reach. But that's not even the worst part. Watch Meghan's face when Courtney dares to interrupt her. When Courtney mentions they drove to Northwestern instead of flying, Meghan's entire demeanor shifts. Her jaw clenches. You can actually see it tighten on camera. Her head whips toward Courtney with a speed that's almost aggressive. There's this deep sigh, the kind that comes from barely controlled anger. Her hand raises, and for a split second, body language experts say it reads like she's about to lash out. Instead, she catches herself, grabs Courtney's hand, tries to play it off as affection. But the damage is done. The cameras caught it all. 20 seconds of pure, unfiltered Meghan Markle that no PR team can spin away. Courtney's body language throughout the rest of the event tells its own story. She's maintaining distance, sitting as far from Meghan as the stage allows. Her posture is closed off, defensive. This isn't two friends enjoying each other's company. This is someone tolerating a situation they desperately want to escape. And the question everyone's asking? If this is how Meghan treats a billionaire friend in public, what happens behind closed doors? Here's where this gets interesting. Courtney Adamo isn't just some random friend Meghan dragged on stage. She's serious money, the kind of wealth that Meghan's royal connection looked like pocket change. Courtney's father owns Rosengard, one of the largest tulip operations in the entire world. We're not talking about some quaint little farm. This is a massive agricultural empire with thousands of acres. Think Yellowstone-level ranch, but with flowers worth millions. The company pulls in enormous revenue every single year. They're one of the biggest exporters of tulips globally. Private company, generational wealth, the kind of money that doesn't need to show off because everyone already knows. But wait, it gets better. Courtney's mother's side, scripts, media, empire, old money, media royalty, the kind of family that's been powerful for generations. Both sides of Courtney's family are swimming in wealth that Meghan can only dream about. So why is this relevant? Because Meghan follows money like a bloodhound follows a scent. Suddenly, after years of silence, Meghan's reaching out to her old friend Courtney. Suddenly, they're doing events together. Suddenly, Meghan's showing up wherever Courtney appears. The pattern is obvious to anyone paying attention. Courtney grew up with privilege Meghan's been chasing her entire life. She doesn't need fame, doesn't need validation, doesn't need Meghan Markle. And that dynamic, that's what made October 23rd so revealing. Because when you put Meghan next to someone who genuinely doesn't need her, someone who comes from actual generational wealth, the desperation shows. Courtney knows her value. She comes from superior stock, as they say. Old money recognizes new money trying too hard. And that recoil on stage, that was old money physically pulling away from someone trying to use them for relevance. The optics couldn't be worse for Meghan. Let's talk about something that doesn't get mentioned enough. May 19th, 2018. The royal wedding watched by millions around the world. Meghan Markle marrying Prince Harry at Windsor Castle. You'd think this close friend, Courtney Adamo, would have been there, right? Wrong. Courtney Adamo didn't make the guest list. Neither did dozens of other people Meghan now claims as dear friends. The wedding had barely anyone from Meghan's past. No childhood friends, no college roommates, barely any former colleagues. Think about that for a second. Your wedding day. supposedly the most important day of your life, and you can't fill the guest list with people who actually know you? Some people tried to spin it as Meghan being private, selective, wanting an intimate ceremony. But here's the thing. The royals were there in force. Harry's friends filled rows. The celebrity guests Meghan invited were mostly people she'd met recently through networking. Where were the people who knew her before fame, before suits, before the royal connection? The pattern repeats itself over and over again. Meghan burns through relationships faster than she burns through staff. Childhood friends disappear, college connections go silent, even family members get cut off without explanation. And now, years later, she's suddenly reaching back out to people like Courtney, people she didn't value enough to invite to her royal wedding, people who have something she needs now that the royal shine has worn off. Courtney's smart enough to see it. That's why her body language screamed discomfort. That's why she kept her physical distance. She knows exactly what Meghan wants, and she's not interested in being used. But she showed up anyway, maybe out of obligation, maybe curiosity, maybe she genuinely wanted to support her book event. Whatever the reason, October 23rd proved that old friendships with Meghan come with strings attached. And those strings are always about what Meghan needs, never about mutual respect or genuine connection. Let's talk numbers. Not exact figures, but a pattern that's impossible to ignore. Since 2020, Meghan and Harry have watched staff members leave in droves. PR professionals, communications directors, chiefs of staff, personal assistants. The list keeps growing. We're talking about highly qualified people, industry veterans with decades of experience, people who've worked with A-list celebrities and navigated major crises. And they can't last more than a few months working with Meghan Markle. The most recent departure, their chief of staff walked away after just 3 months on the job. 3 months. That's barely enough time to understand the role, let alone make any meaningful impact. Before that, multiple PR professionals came and went in rapid succession. These aren't entry-level positions either. These are senior roles commanding serious salaries and significant responsibility. Industry insiders are calling it unprecedented. One PR expert with over 20 years of experience said she's never seen turnover like this. Not with divas, not with difficult celebrities, not with anyone. Because here's what most people don't understand about PR. You're planning months, sometimes years in advance. Magazine features get booked 6 months out. TV appearances require weeks of coordination. Brand partnerships take time to develop and nurture. You can't do any of that with a revolving door of staff. You can't build momentum when your team changes every 90 days. You can't execute a long-term strategy when nobody sticks around long enough to see it through. And yet, Meghan keeps hiring new people, keeps making announcements about big changes, keeps releasing press releases to Forbes about expansion and new hires. 4 months before the latest departure, Meghan exclusively announced a major hire to Forbes, made it seem like this was the person who'd finally turned things around. The press release talked about expansion, new initiatives, big plans for Archewell. Nowhere in that announcement did it mention this was a temporary position. Nowhere did it say this person was hired for just 90 days. Because if it was always meant to be short-term, you'd say that up front. You'd manage expectations. Unless the person wasn't supposed to leave. Unless they saw something that made them run for the exit. PR professionals only leave that fast for 2 reasons. Either they're getting blamed for bad results that aren't their fault, or the client is impossible to work with. Given Meghan's pattern, smart money is on option 2. So what actually happens behind closed doors? Why can't Meghan keep anyone on staff? Talk to anyone in the PR industry and they'll tell you the same thing. The worst clients are the ones who hire you for expertise, then ignore every piece of advice you give. They want the credibility of having a top PR professional. They want to point to your resume and experience, but when you actually try to guide them, try to shape the narrative, try to prevent disasters, they shut you down. That's when good publicists walk, because your reputation is on the line every single day. When the client does something that makes headlines for all the wrong reasons, people don't blame the client. They ask, where was her PR team? You're getting blamed for outcomes you tried to prevent. You're watching someone sabotage themselves while refusing to listen. And if you're a respected professional who knows their value, you don't stick around for that. Multiple sources in the industry have said the same thing about Meghan. She doesn't listen. She thinks she knows better. She'll pay top dollar for the best advice available, then completely ignore it.
The garden video that dropped recently. PR professionals saw it and cringed. The timing seemed designed to distract from negative press. The setting felt overly staged. Meghan's wearing what looks like a blanket in weather that doesn't match conditions in Santa Barbara. It screams damage control, but not good damage control, amateur hour damage control. The kind of move a professional would advise against because it's too obvious. Same with the Paris tunnel video that caused massive backlash. Any experienced PR person would have told her that was a terrible idea. Using Diana's death site for content? Playing into conspiracy theories? Creating controversy instead of goodwill? But if the reports are true, Meghan doesn't want to hear no. She doesn't want to hear that's a bad idea. She wants people to execute her vision without question. And that works fine until it doesn't. Until you're on stage, grabbing microphones and making billionaires physically recoil. Until the carefully constructed image starts cracking in real time. That's when PR professionals realize they can't help someone who won't help themselves. That's when they quietly update their LinkedIn, leave Meghan off their client list, and move on to people who actually value their expertise. The phrase keeps coming up in industry circles. Absolute nightmare to work for. When that's your reputation in Hollywood, good luck finding your next hire.
From royal balconies to godmother's bookstore, the contrast couldn't be starker. Just a few years ago, Meghan stood on the balcony at Buckingham Palace. Millions watching worldwide, the pageantry, the prestige, the global platform that comes with being connected to the British royal family. Now, she's doing book events at a small independent bookstore in Santa Barbara, clinging to friendships with people who didn't even make her wedding guest list. The fall has been spectacular, and it's accelerating. Every curated video feels more desperate than the last. Every press release to Forbes rings more hollow. Every announcement about new projects and partnerships leads nowhere. Because here's the brutal truth that Meghan seems unable to accept. You can't fake authenticity. You can't manufacture genuine connection. You can't control how people perceive you when your actions keep contradicting your words. She spent millions trying to build a brand around compassion, kindness, and authenticity, but then people see how she treats staff. They see those 20 seconds on stage where the mask slipped completely. One PR expert said it best: if you can't fake it on the red carpet for 60 seconds, game over. And she's right, because the one thing celebrities need to master is maintaining composure in public. Meghan and Harry tried it at their last major red carpet appearance. They barely made it through without the tension showing. The body language experts had a field day analyzing how disconnected they seemed, how forced the smiles were. If you can't hold it together for one red carpet walk, how do you build a sustainable brand? How do you maintain relevance when every public appearance chips away at the illusion? The answer is you don't. 20 seconds. That's all it took. One microphone grab, one visible recoil, one moment of barely controlled anger caught on camera. Meghan Markle has spent years and millions trying to control her narrative. Curated content, strategic press releases, carefully timed announcements, all designed to maintain the illusion of success, power, and authenticity. But you can't script real life. You can't edit a live event. And when the mask finally slips, people see exactly who you are. The staff departures make sense now. The inability to maintain friendships clicks into place. The desperation to cling to people with real money and status becomes crystal clear. October 23rd wasn't just a gaffe. It was the moment the carefully constructed facade finally cracked wide open. And no amount of PR spin can put that back together. What do you think? Is this the beginning of the end for Meghan's carefully crafted image? Or can she still turn things around? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because we want to hear what you're seeing that we might have missed. And if this video opened your eyes, smash that like button, share, and more importantly, hype this. Let's get this to 10K likes.